When we talk about love, we're really talking about so many things. Love isn't just the merging of two hearts. It's about facing long, lonely nights, enduring silent stumbles, and grappling with unfulfilled expectations. Each of us, when in love, has moments of wondering whether the love we give is deep enough, sincere enough, or strong enough to make the other person truly happy. There's one thing we often overlook. Love, at times, isn't just about what we give to another person, but also about how we seek comfort and protection for ourselves. The people we love can come from the most unexpected places, but they can also leave us when we need them the most. And then we ask ourselves, am I loving the right way? Is this love truly making me happy? We might do so much to bring joy to the person we love, making them feel like they're the only thing in the world that could make them happy. But ironically, sometimes all those efforts amount to nothing. We get caught up in our actions, our words, our sacrifices, without realizing that in the rush of it all, we've forgotten something important. Happiness isn't something we can simply give away. It's something that must be nurtured from within. Amid grand expectations of a perfect love, we forget that love isn't about filling someone else's heart. It's about filling our own soul. It's our loneliness, our unhealed wounds, that make us yearn for love so deeply. And when love comes, we place our hopes in it, expecting it to heal our unresolved pain and fill the emptiness inside. But is it possible to love without suffering? That's a question not just I, but perhaps many others have asked themselves. Love is an instinct, an integral part of who we are, but how do we keep it from becoming a burden, from adding to our exhaustion or pain? How do we love without feeling like we're sacrificing too much for something intangible? A true love isn't one where we endlessly chase after unattainable desires. A lasting love isn't one where we're constantly striving to please the other person. Instead, it's a love that helps us realize that true happiness doesn't come from possessing or fulfilling every wish of our partner. It comes from helping them find peace within themselves. Peace, something invisible, yet essential to everyone. Sometimes, love isn't about doing everything possible to make the other person happy. It's about creating a serene space together, a space where each of us can live in the tranquility of our own soul. It's when we stop worrying about things beyond our control, stop stressing over what hasn't yet come, and focus instead on what we have, on the moments that are truly present. Love isn't an endless act of self-sacrifice. It's about sharing the peace within our hearts. We don't need to dive into a race of sacrifices and contributions only to lose ourselves along the way. To love is to help the person we care about feel the simple joys of life: a warm cup of tea, a quiet afternoon, a silent glance. Small things, yet filled with immeasurable value that we often overlook. Happiness isn't something we find out there. It's something we carry within, born from peaceful moments and simple but meaningful things. Happiness comes from pausing, living mindfully, and recognizing the value of what we already have instead of constantly worrying about what we don't. When we learn to live in the present, love stops being a race and becomes a journey, a shared path where we nurture and cherish the genuine things together. In modern life, we often find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of endless demands. People seem to have everything to be happy: homes, stable jobs, complete families. Yet happiness feels like a vague, unattainable thing. We live with constant worry, with fear of the future, as though we must chase after grand plans and ambitious goals to feel that our lives are meaningful. But when we look back at the present, it all seems to have slipped away. We set so many expectations for the future, and those very expectations prevent us from appreciating the simple life offers right now. We search for happiness in distant dreams, in unfinished plans. We rush through life, but forget that happiness isn't at the destination. It's in the steps we take along the way, in the moments we pause to feel the breath of life. When we focus too much on external desires, both we and those we love begin to wear down. Love, care, and devotion sometimes aren't enough to fill the emptiness because we haven't yet learned to love ourselves. We don't truly understand what we need, what we want, and most importantly, we don't recognize the wounds within our own hearts. If we can't acknowledge our own pain, how can we help those we love overcome theirs? We need to learn to live mindfully, to look deeply into ourselves and the wounds we carry within. When we help our loved ones realize this, when they too learn to see themselves clearly and find peace within their hearts, happiness will no longer be a distant goal. It will appear in every moment, every breath, and every small joy we once overlooked. Happiness isn't something achieved by satisfying every desire, nor is it about resisting what we dislike. It comes from inner peace, from the ability to let go of ambitions, worries, and unnecessary anger. When our minds are no longer dominated by things beyond our control, we'll find ourselves lighter, calmer, and more complete. A warm cup of tea, a quiet afternoon by the river, the cheerful laughter of children. These are priceless gifts we may have ignored throughout our lives. When we pause, allow ourselves to breathe and feel, and stop racing through life's endless demands, we'll realize that happiness isn't far away. It lies in our presence, in appreciating simple moments, in listening to ourselves and those we love. And when we can find joy in those small things, happiness ceases to be an abstract concept. It becomes something vivid, present in every second. There are gifts that money can't buy, gifts that can't be measured by material worth, but hold immense value. When you give your loved ones a profound spiritual gift, something invisible yet deeply felt by the heart, it's the gift of your peace. You could give them material presents, a new outfit, a piece of jewelry, or a faraway trip, but sometimes those gifts can't bring true happiness. Happiness doesn't stem from lavish possessions. It comes from genuine presence, from the peace you bring to them. When you become a peaceful person, when you live with a light and warm soul, you yourself become the most precious gift your loved ones could ever receive. In this world, nothing is more valuable than peace. It's not something found in stores or markets. It must be experienced within each person. Your peace becomes a source of positive energy, a safe harbor for your loved ones to return to when they feel tired, anxious, or unsettled. To become a source of peace, you must first truly understand yourself. You need to find stillness within your soul, to work through your emotions and heal your wounds so you can live fully in each moment. When you achieve this, you won't just offer comfort to your loved ones. You'll also help them realize that peace doesn't come from outside, but must begin within each of us. Don't think of your peace as merely a gift for others to feel when you're around. The truth is, you can't always be there. You can't always be their anchor. But what you can do is guide them to discover their own sense of serenity, to realize that they have the ability to create a peaceful space for themselves, even in the most challenging moments. When your loved ones learn this, they'll no longer rely solely on you. They'll know how to find balance within themselves, even when you're not by their side. This path isn't easy. The journey to peace is rarely lined with roses. Your loved ones might doubt you, they might not understand, they might even feel that you're becoming distant, that you don't care for them as you once did. They may see your efforts as stepping back, but in reality, you're helping them stand on their own, to build a life that doesn't depend on anyone else. This is the greatest gift you can give them, not dependency, but independence and strength of spirit. You'll need patience and perseverance because the first steps on this journey are often the hardest. But if your love is genuine, you won't give up. You'll help your loved ones realize that their greatest strength lies in their ability to stand firm in any circumstance, and you're simply there to guide them to that realization. When your loved ones learn to rely on themselves, when they know how to overcome pain, suffering, or sadness, you'll understand that you've given them an incomparable gift. It's the gift of growth, the ability to heal themselves, and ultimately the gift of lasting happiness. Happiness doesn't come from what you can do for them. It comes from helping them find peace and freedom within their own hearts. A mature relationship isn't one where two people are endlessly attached and dependent on each other. Instead, it's a relationship where both individuals can rely on themselves. Love in such a relationship isn't about clinging, but about a deep connection between two independent people who walk life's journey together with respect and understanding. Whether they are close or apart, the love remains as long as both understand that love isn't something to possess, but something that freely radiates from within. On this journey, there will inevitably be moments when one stumbles, times of failure, pain, or when they fall short of your expectations. In those moments, it's easy to feel disappointed, hurt, or even abandoned. But a mature relationship isn't one without conflict or pain. In fact, it is through facing challenges and difficulties that the relationship truly becomes stronger. The key is not to reduce your loved one to their negative actions or behaviors in those tough moments. These behaviors are temporary, just the tip of the iceberg, and do not define who they are as a whole. Beneath those unpleasant actions lies a heart carrying pain, struggling with unhealed wounds. Remember the qualities you once cherished in them. Reflect on the past, on the moments when they showed love, care, and resilience. By holding on to love during difficult times, the relationship can become even more solid. Love isn't a fleeting emotion, it's a steadfast choice, a decision to care no matter the circumstances. When your loved one acts out or causes pain, instead of reacting with anger or disappointment, try to see them through a different lens, a lens of understanding. Behind their words or actions may be someone in deep pain, trying but unsure how to express themselves. When you can remain calm and not get swept up in negative emotions, you'll be able to see the suffering hidden beneath their surface. This doesn't just protect you from being hurt, but also allows you to approach them with compassion and empathy. Understanding that your loved one's difficult behavior is often a symptom of deeper inner pain helps you care for your own emotions rather than reacting in anger. When you can maintain peace within, you'll have the strength to support them with love and understanding. This journey is not easy. Moments of misunderstanding or hurt may cause you to doubt yourself and the relationship. But remember, these challenges do not diminish the value of love. A strong relationship is not one free from storms, but one where both individuals can stand firm and face difficulties together. Unconditional love, patience, and compassion are the glue that binds everything, helping the relationship grow stronger and teaching both partners how to love themselves and confront life's challenges with their inner strength. When you sustain unconditional love, not because you expect something in return, but because you understand that love is the force that helps both of you grow and become more resilient, the relationship will deepen in ways you never imagined. Love isn't something measurable or explainable in words. It's felt in small gestures, in quiet moments, in gentle care and profound forgiveness. True love is companionship, patience, and appreciation, even in the toughest times. When you understand this, your relationship will not only endure, but also flourish naturally and beautifully. Genuine love is not easy. It's a bold choice, especially when facing life's difficulties and challenges. It isn't just about the sweet moments when everything is smooth, but about having the patience and courage to stand by your loved one through their pain, struggles, and darkest times. True love doesn't give up when the person you love is no longer at their best, no longer the perfect version you once knew. In fact, it's during these moments that love needs to shine even brighter, when they need you the most but may not be able to show it. A truly loving person isn't just someone who stays for the happy days, but someone willing to endure and face the weaknesses, wounds, and difficult behaviors of their loved one. When they're in pain or lost within themselves, true love is quiet presence, a steady shoulder to lean on. Love isn't about fulfilling every desire or indulging every whim. It's about understanding that every action and every negative expression has a deeper cause. When your loved one behaves in a difficult way, remember it may stem from their struggles with unresolved pain, worries, or wounds. Instead of reacting with anger or disappointment, look at them with eyes of empathy, understanding that their actions are an expression of emotions they don't yet know how to handle. To love deeply, you can't just love what's charming or beautiful. You must see your loved one as a whole, understanding their true nature and separating their behavior from their intrinsic worth. Often, it's their inner pain and vulnerabilities that drive confusing actions. When you recognize this, you'll realize their good qualities are still there. This is when you need to be patient, persistent, and trust in the deeper values within them, even if their current actions don't reflect what you cherish most. However, to love sincerely and without exhaustion, you need a resilient heart. This isn't about being hardened, but about maintaining inner peace amidst the storms created by others. When you're easily hurt by the words or actions of your loved ones, both you and the relationship can spiral into fatigue and pain. A resilient heart doesn't mean being cold or unfeeling. It's about having the capacity to care for yourself and not let someone else's emotions disturb your peace. Only when you have that calmness can you continue loving without causing harm to yourself or the other person. True love is an art. It's not just about understanding the other person's psychology, it's also about deeply understanding yourself. You need to confront your own wounds, insecurities, and biases so they don't control your relationship. When you learn to let go of ego, release the need for control, and truly listen from the heart, you can build a relationship that is genuine and profound. Such a relationship becomes more than a connection between two people. It's a journey of sharing, learning, and growing together. When someone you love faces deep failures or unspoken pain, they may find themselves in a state of turmoil they cannot even comprehend. They carry wounds they cannot articulate, inner storms they don't know how to calm. In these moments, love cannot simply be about understanding. It must also be about full presence, a willingness to listen without judgment and without expectation. In such situations, if you focus solely on your own emotions, you might feel drained, disappointed, or even hurt. You might react with anger, impatience, or even reproach. But when you look deeply into the root of their pain, you'll see they are battling a fierce inner conflict. Their suffering runs deeper than any feeling you might experience. Recognizing this, you'll no longer feel the need to respond selfishly. Instead of adding to their hurt, you'll want to help them find peace within themselves. Understanding is never simple, but when you achieve it, your love transforms profoundly. That's when you love not just parts of them, but the entirety of who they are, their vulnerabilities, their wounds, and the shadows within their soul. You realize their happiness is intrinsically tied to yours. Hurting them is, in essence, hurting yourself. This isn't about self-sacrifice or endless tolerance. It's about a deep realization that true love always sees the value in others, even when they are weighed down by their suffering. When your loved one falls into despair, when they're no longer as kind or agreeable as they once were, remember that it's only a temporary phase. True love doesn't rush to conclusions or give up. It continues to nurture faith, standing strong and patiently waiting. Because within every person, no matter how wounded, there are always untapped wells of goodness. Love can be the force that helps them step out of the darkness and find peace within their soul. To achieve this, you must cultivate steadiness within yourself. You need the patience to remain unmoved by the waves of emotions from your loved one. You need to care for yourself so that, in these challenging moments, you can still be their anchor. They don't need you to fix everything for them. They need you to walk beside them, to be a source of positive energy, a constant presence ready to support them when they're ready. Right now, you may not be able to expect much from them. They may be like a lost child, unable to rise above their pain. In these moments, you might be the only one who can create a safe space for them to feel strong enough to heal. Offer them a place to pause, to breathe, and to feel the peace of your presence. Sometimes, love isn't about words of comfort or hurried acts of help. It's about quiet patience, steady companionship, and expecting nothing in return. Healing is not a simple journey. It goes beyond stopping the cycle of self-blame or denying inner wounds. It's about learning to love the pain that has been buried deep within. These wounds aren't stains or weaknesses to hide, but part of each person's growth. When nurtured with patience and love, these wounds gradually heal, leaving gentle marks that no longer weigh them down. At that point, your loved one can finally breathe freely, living a life unburdened by the pressure to be perfect or the weight of unmet expectations. Innocence, simplicity, and lightheartedness are invaluable gifts within each person. They're not commodities money can buy, but special qualities that help us rise above life's anxieties. When you can invite this innocence within yourself and offer it to your loved one, it becomes a powerful remedy. It not only eases their tension, but also awakens their mindfulness and renews their faith in their ability to rediscover themselves amidst challenges. When your loved one experiences weakness, stumbles, or feels overwhelmed, it's crucial that you don't allow yourself to fall into despair. Your despair could make them feel even more isolated and lost. If you succumb to those feelings, you won't be able to provide the support they need. However, if you hold on to your faith and love and maintain steadiness within your heart, you become an inspiration. Your strength can help them find their own, rekindle their belief in their capacity to heal, and renew their hope in their ability to rebuild and thrive. True love is not just about caring for your loved ones during their moments of weakness, it's also about supporting and uplifting their dreams and aspirations. Never dismiss or hinder their deepest desires, whether they are thriving or struggling. Genuine love never ignores these ambitions but encourages them to pursue their dreams, regardless of the circumstances. Sometimes, when your loved ones regain their strength and discover their own power, you might feel unsettled or intimidated by your own ego. You might worry that their success will overshadow you or that they'll surpass you. But true love does not fear losing recognition or position. In fact, helping your loved one rise isn't just an act of love, it's also an opportunity for your own growth. Only when you learn to love without possessiveness or imposition can you truly offer the most precious gifts, freedom for your loved ones and for yourself. Love is not about control or holding tight, it's about companionship, being there, ready to provide strength when needed. Along this journey, you and your loved one are not just companions but also teachers and students to each other, helping one another become stronger, wiser, and more complete. In moments of crisis, particularly when we accompany a loved one through life-threatening challenges, our emotions often swing between strength and vulnerability. In those times, you stop thinking about yourself and focus entirely on saving your companion. Even if it means doing things that go against your inner comfort to ensure survival, you do it. You give your all, not worrying about what might happen to you, just hoping they'll make it through. This is love in its most urgent form, a love stripped down to care, concern, and an unwavering readiness to sacrifice. But once the danger has passed and your loved one has recovered, a strange emptiness can emerge. At this point, you might realize you've poured all your energy and focus into them, neglecting yourself. A sense of self-pity may arise. I've endured so much and now they're fine. Why did I have to suffer like this? These feelings are natural because sacrifices, when unacknowledged or unbalanced, can lead to resentment or even dissatisfaction. However, true love is not merely about care in moments of weakness. It's not just about sacrifice and submission. It's also about the ability to support your loved ones as they grow, flourish, and even surpass you. This requires boundless selflessness, not to establish who is superior, but to nurture the growth and freedom of the other person. Love is not about comparison or maintaining your position. It's about the willingness to witness and celebrate their progress and success. When your loved one achieves their dreams, whether it's stability or even success beyond your own, you must learn to see it not as something that diminishes you, but as a testament to the love and sacrifices you've given. Their happiness is your joy, and their prosperity is a result of the companionship and support you've provided. Life is not a race, but a journey where everyone has their own dreams and aspirations. Some people sacrifice much to stand by you, to walk alongside you, and they deserve the right to pursue their own dreams, even if those dreams surpass your reach. True love is a blend of affection, sacrifice, and mutual growth. Sometimes in a loving relationship, you need to take a step back to give your loved ones space to shine and pursue their deepest aspirations. This isn't about abandoning yourself, but making a thoughtful, considerate sacrifice born of love and a genuine desire for their happiness. Watching someone you love rise, achieve success, and become strong brings a sense of pride and fulfillment that outweighs any feelings of comparison or envy. However, love is not about blind sacrifice or giving everything to another, while forgetting yourself. Healthy love allows both individuals the space to grow and pursue their own dreams while maintaining mutual respect and support. Sacrifice must be balanced. You cannot love someone else if you don't love yourself. A sustainable love is one in which both partners feel seen, valued, and respected. The ability to let go is also a vital part of true love. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or stepping back, but rather not holding on to mistakes or flaws of the other person. Sometimes we need to release resentment, blame, or frustration to let love remain light and free. When you stop letting the small things get in the way, love becomes clearer and stronger, unburdened by the weight of past grievances. True love has the power to ease suffering, but even more remarkably, it can heal and transform life's challenges. It's a love that is selfless, without demands for repayment, freely given so that both can grow and find profound meaning in the relationship. Such love not only brings happiness to your loved one, but also nourishes you, filling you with energy and a renewed joy for life. In a relationship, tension and hurt don't always stem from the other person. Sometimes we ourselves contribute to the difficulties. When a loved one makes mistakes or reveals their vulnerabilities, if our minds are not steady, their challenging words or actions can easily leave deep wounds. The key is not to let negative emotions take control. A resilient heart doesn't mean being immune to hurt, but having the ability to heal and not let that pain dictate your life. Letting go of expectations and past burdens is essential for maintaining inner peace. When you no longer expect your loved one to meet all your needs or fit into an ideal mold, you can see them with greater compassion and forgive more easily. If we rely solely on others to soothe our emotions, we become more susceptible to disappointment when they fail to meet those expectations. A clear example is the story of a husband struggling with depression who couldn't accept his wife's past before their marriage. When the present lacks happiness, people often search for reasons in the past to justify their dissatisfaction. This only deepens the pain, as the past is unchangeable. To build a healthy relationship, you must live in the present, let go of the burdens of the past, and see your loved one through a lens of love and understanding. There's something many of us fail to realize in relationships, especially when a loved one makes a mistake or when a past fault from before we entered their life resurfaces. Often we focus only on the pain, the hurt, or even the frustration it causes. But in reality, what matters most is not judgment, but how we choose to perceive and respond to the situation. If your heart is not yet strong or steady, you may easily get caught up in feelings of disappointment and hurt, leading to reactions of anger or withdrawal. Bitter words, hasty decisions, and growing distances can make the relationship suffocating. However, when your heart is strong and expansive, you'll realize that every mistake, whether in the past or present, can be approached with understanding and forgiveness. Compassion is not easy, but when you achieve it, you'll find your heart gradually opening, becoming lighter, even if it still feels painful at first. When a loved one makes a mistake, it's not a time to criticize or abandon them, and it's an opportunity to show your capacity for forgiveness. A heart as expansive as a river can hold all the small mistakes and flaws of a person. These mistakes are like grains of salt. When they fall into the river, they cannot make the water salty. But a narrow heart, like a small bowl of water, lacks the space to hold or forgive, and even a tiny mistake can make it bitter and unbearable, leaving you feeling betrayed and unable to move past it. Forgiveness is a journey, a process for those who love, knowing that love isn't just about joyful moments and sweet smiles. Forgiveness is realizing that true love lies in weathering the storms together, accepting mistakes, not because you don't feel pain, but because you understand that only forgiveness can make love endure. But forgiving doesn't mean you don't feel hurt or sadness. Sometimes it's a struggle, a test of patience, and an internal conflict. Yet, it's in those moments that you realize true love isn't just a fleeting emotion, it's profound understanding and compassion. In loving relationships, it's not always possible to see everything through the lens of fairness or right and wrong. Love isn't a transaction where you repay hurt with hurt. It's a choice you face each time anger or pain arises. You can choose to react, to defend your ego, or you can choose forgiveness to protect the relationship you're nurturing. Forgiveness is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you forgive, you not only give your loved one the space to recognize and correct their mistakes, but also build a deeper, stronger relationship where trust and mutual understanding form the foundation. Forgiveness is the offering of love's fragments, even when they feel broken or damaged, and finding ways to piece them back together in a way that strengthens and sustains the bond. Love inevitably involves moments of hurt, especially when your loved one stumbles or strays in their actions. The pain, sharp as a knife to the heart, is hard to avoid when you choose forgiveness over walking away. Yet, it's in these painful moments that you learn the true value of love. Forgiveness isn't about needing them or seeking their approval. It's about wanting them to stay, helping them find their way back, not just to you, but also to themselves. Forgiveness is an essential part of true love. Without it, love becomes trapped in resentment and unfulfilled expectations. In such a love, our hearts grow heavier, weighed down by feelings of hurt and perceived injustice. But to forgive, to show compassion, we must also understand that the heart's capacity isn't infinite. It has limits if we fail to nurture and care for it properly. When we place too many expectations on others, we set ourselves up for disappointment. However, by turning inward, caring for our own souls, and healing our own wounds, the heart gradually expands. This gives us the strength to love and forgive without feeling drained. A generous heart doesn't come from forcing ourselves to endure. It isn't a goal achieved by persistent patience to the point of exhaustion. A generous heart arises from an inner steadiness. It emerges when we are no longer caught in our wounds, no longer demanding too much from others, and no longer judging. Instead, we find understanding and patience with ourselves. When we cultivate peace within, we gain the strength to walk alongside our loved ones, allowing them to rise from their falls without harming us in the process. Love isn't merely an emotion. It's a long journey filled with challenges that require continuous learning and practice. Sometimes we walk the right path, but other times we stumble, feeling lost and fatigued by failures. Yet it's crucial to recognize that within everyone lies the ability for profound love, boundless compassion, and a reservoir of inner peace. These abilities aren't innate. They can be awakened and nurtured over time if we know how to care for and cultivate them. To ensure that love is not just fleeting emotion, but something enduring and solid, we must focus on improving ourselves. Not through forced endurance or suppressing emotions, but by discovering practical and simple methods to expand the heart, reduce negative reactions, and see our loved ones with greater kindness. This doesn't mean ignoring their mistakes, but perceiving them beyond their flaws, recognizing their true essence and the values they carry, which transcend surface-level behaviors. The practice of cultivating love is not just about self-improvement. It's also about building a solid foundation for relationships. When storms come, this foundation helps us remain steady, preventing collapse. When love encounters difficulties or conflicts that seem insurmountable, sometimes the best thing we can do is turn inward and care for ourselves. Don't seek peace from others. Instead, create it within yourself. By becoming a steady presence full of positive energy and inner calm, you not only inspire your loved ones, but also create a space for them to see the value of the relationship and the value of who you are. Whether love continues or not, whether your loved one remains by your side or not, you carry within you beautiful memories. Memories untainted by resentment or bitterness. Memories that shine like stars in the sky of your soul, untouched by storms. True love is never perfect, but it is always beautiful and deeply meaningful because it comes from an open heart and a peaceful soul. We may not be able to control the final outcome, but we can control how we live in love, how we nurture, forgive, and grow. An open heart and a tranquil soul are the most powerful tools to help you navigate life's challenges and honor the true essence of love in every moment.